Hi, in today's episode, I'll talk about Power Apps variables. I'll explain the differences between the commands UpdateContext, set, and collect. After watching this short video, you'll be able to decide which command is the best for each situation. Firstly, if you don't come from a programming background, let me show you what are variables. Variables basically are labeled containers that hold information. Variables are stored in memory, so when you close your app, the variables values are lost. It's important to notice that variables are extremely useful tool in Power Apps, but they are not always necessary. This is because Power Apps inputs acts like a cell in Excel, so you can reference them throughout the whole app and create complex Power apps. Alright, let's go. To showcase the usage of different variable types in Power Apps, today we are going to build a simple calculator. Let's start with the UpdateContext command. So let's start inserting here our labels, our buttons, and our inputs. Let's insert a input value. Let's change it to number here on the right. Let's add a button. Let's name it add. And let's add a label that will be our running total. Okay. So here in our add button, we have the onSelect property that performs this action when we click on the button. So here, let's show you how is the syntax of the UpdateContext command. So we type UpdateContext, and here we open braces, and we type here the variable name. Let's call it running total. And we separe the variable name with column, and here we don't need the spaces, it's optional. But here we type the value. So the value would be the value on the text input 1. So text input 1, and the property that gets its value is called text. So dot text. Okay, we and the braces and the parentheses of the UpdateContext. And there we go. We don't have a calculator yet, okay, but just to showcase that we are storing value and we are displaying here on this label, in this label. So let's call the running total variable. So let's hit play here. Let's see, 5, 15. Okay, so how can we turn it into a calculator, into a sum adding machine? Okay, so we go back to our formula here, the UpdateContext, and instead of always replacing the value, we are going to use the current value of the running total plus the value from the input. So let's play again. So 15 plus 10, 25, okay, plus 25, 50, and that's it. So when we should use the UpdateContext command? Here we have to talk about variable scope. What is this? The scope of the UpdateContext command is bound to the screen. So if we declare a variable using the UpdateContext, we can only use this variable inside this screen. So if we insert a new screen here, insert a new label, and try to call here the running total, it doesn't find because it's bound to the screen 1 scope. But we can do another thing here. In the navigate command, let's insert a new button here, and let's use the formula to type the navigate command, and let's go to screen 2. We won't use any transition, screen transition, and here we can send one local variable, the UpdateContext variable, to another screen. Here we are sending a variable from screen 1 to screen 2. Let's call in screen 2 running total screen 2. And here the parameter that we are going to send. So running total, that it's the variable from screen 1. And we can call it running total domain as well. There's no problem. So navigate, we click here, and now we can access running total that's from screen 2 right now. But now we have two running totals, one in screen 1 and other one in screen 2. Okay, so let's erase here in screen 2. And there we go. This is the update context. Let's do the same using the set command. So here we insert the text input, change it to number, insert the button, name it add, insert the label. Okay, now we type our formula. In the set command, the syntax is just like this. So set, let's call it global running total, and its value will be from text input 2. Text input 2 dot text. Okay, and here we are going to show global running total. Okay, so we hit play, we type here 2, okay, 2, let's type 5, just like the same as we did with the first example. Now let's turn it into let's use the current value, global running total plus text input 2. Okay, so we hit play again, 10 plus 15 plus 15 again plus 15, and there we go. We are storing the variable using its current value and adding up some numbers. Okay, let's go back to screen 1 and show here that when we should use the set command. It's a global variable, as you might have noticed here, the name I chose. If we go to screen 1, insert a label here, and without passing any parameter from the navigate function, we can access the global variables. So any variable you define using the set command, you can access throughout your whole app. Whereas when you use the UpdateContext function, you can only access in the current screen you define it. Okay, so this is our global running total. And at last, let's use the collect function to create our calculator, because the collect function always as well store variables in memory, but in a tabular-like way. So let's insert the input, change to number, insert the button, call it collect, and insert the label. Here we are going to type our collect command. We name our collection. Let's call it some collection. And here, covered in braces, we name the property of the column of the collection. And as I said, each collection acts like a table, so it will be just like a column. And the value will be from text input 3. Text input 3 dot text. Okay, that's it. So let's hit play. Let's add to our collection the number 2, the number 5, and the number 10. Okay, so it's let's close here to come back to our studio, and let me show you 2 ways that you can see your variable values. So if you come to File and go to Collections, let's start with Collections because this is the topic we are talking right now. Here is the list of your collections, and here is the values. So we have just one column that we defined, and here are the values that are stored right now in this collection. And the variables we have here, the global variables. So each variable you define using the set command will be stored here, will be shown here, and each screen will have its local variables. So using the update context or the navigate function. Another way for you to check your variables is if you select in your code what you want to check, to inspect, and click the arrow the down arrow. So here we can see that our collection has these numbers, and we can do this with variables used with the set function or the update context just the same. So let's come back to our collection, and here let's sum all of the values we stored in our collections. So we use the sum function. We type here our collection, the name, so sum collection, and we type here the column that we want to sum. So in our case, number, that's the name we used. And that's it. Here we have our calculator, our adding machine. That's it. I hope you have learned something from our video, and